Ascent of the Matterhorn is beautifully animated. The narrative I felt wasn't that interesting, but the quality of the animation was so good, and there were so many hearts in this. That's not unusual for a Pepe Le Pew cartoon, but I thought that was pretty creatively done, and I really enjoyed watching it. But as I said, the narrative itself wasn't that interesting. This was released in 1961, written and directed by Chuck Jones, and we have Mel Blanc as Pepe Le Pew. And I think Mel Blanc did a particularly great job with Pepe Le Pew in this one. I'm not sure why. Maybe I was just looking for other things to find joy in, since the actual narrative I didn't find that engaging, but I just found like his vocal performance was even better here than it usually is. And obviously, this is set in the French Alps, and the scenery is gorgeous, the colours are beautiful, and once again, we have a cat who looks like a skunk, and Pepe Le Pew is chasing after this cat skunk. And I do love how it's animated. I love the way the cat moved. It kind of bounced around, which was rather adorable. And Pepe Le Pew's movements were pretty good as well. But I just feel like not a lot happened, and it feels very similar to pretty much every other Pepe Le Pew cartoon, which in itself is not so bad because usually they all have a twist. For example, the one I watched previously, or one of the last ones, was set in the Louvre well, obviously in France, and there were other things to interact with, other things to look at. This one, even though it's beautifully animated, I feel like it didn't lend itself too well to too much excitement. There was there were a few things here and there that could only have happened in that location and not say on a street scene, but generally I just didn't find it to be that interesting. But the animation really is absolutely stunning. I do find the Pepe Le Pew cartoons to be some of the most beautifully animated, with some of the most gorgeous, delicate colour palettes. So, Ascent of the Matterhorn, which is a great title, is worth watching if you are particularly fond of the visual beauty of Pepe Le Pew. But if you're looking for maybe a narrative with a twist or something a bit different, it doesn't really offer anything that I found to be that engaging. It's by no means bad on its own, but when you watch several of them in a row, you look for something a bit different, and I feel like Ascent of the Matterhorn just doesn't really offer anything too fascinating.